So my name is Thembelihle Ngema. I work within Standard Bank and I look after the finance team within personal and business banking in South Africa. So the conversation that I'd like us to have today is really what does the future of finance look like and what is the role of a CFO look like in the future? The world is changing at a fast pace. We are seeing rapid technology advancements, new entrants that are nimble without legacy systems who are driving down margins hard. We see increasing levels of regulatory requirements. Really, as CFOs and finance teams, we absolutely have our work cut out for us. So the way that I think through this is that technology will become, and increasingly so, will become a key enabler in driving efficiencies within finance teams going forward. And therefore, for me, it really is no longer relevant for us to spend a significant amount of time doing backward looking reporting. This type of routine task will increasingly become automated. This is the stuff that we are doing today, but the finance of the future will require us to do this at a larger scale. We have to rapidly drive efficiencies within our different businesses. Two, advanced analytics. We're doing this today, but this will increasingly become important to make sure that we are driving shareholder value as well as client value. And this will be through, prescriptive as well as predictive analytics. This is key to make sure that we really start doing, as finance teams, work that adds additional value rather than spending the time that we spend today in terms of financial reporting. The other pieces of work that will become increasingly important as we think through what finance of the future looks like and the role that the CFO will play is that, our domain technical accounting knowledge and understanding, that will remain. That is our home. However, we must complement this with additional skills. So for me, I do believe that T-shaped skills are key. They're key today, but going forward, this will become increasingly important. We must, as finance teams, learn T-shaped skills, whether it's, other skills outside of our domain. And that can be IT, that can be data science, that can be, whatever, ops risk, all of these different disciplines really help us from a finance perspective to make meaningful contributions to the executive teams that we serve in. And therefore, if I think of an example currently within our organization is that we are currently busy with a piece of work of implementing a CRM system. And so for me, it's been quite important to really understand this, the capabilities that the system actually brings into the business. And why is that important? This is important not just from a finance perspective, but for me, it's important that when we have these conversations in the new boardroom, that I actually understand how we're going to deploy this new system within the business to ensure that we can, it can actually add value and that we can get a meaningful value for our shareholders in deploying it. And that sort of starts giving you a view of why T-shaped skills are important, because you're not going to get that from technical accounting. It's really about having broader skill sets. So the role of a CFO is evolving to that of a chief value officer. And that really talks to, the CFO being responsible for broader change within the organization and driving that change and making sure that we can make, are we increasing shareholder value across the value chain. So the way that I think about it is that, the way that we should all prepare for it, including myself or yourself, if that's what you want to do one day, is that firstly, I think it's critical to be curious. Be curious. Don't, think outside of, your domain and technical accounting. It's important to read broadly, invest in personal development, to gain T-shaped skills. And those can be really broad. So those could be in IT, in data science. Really just make sure that you become a well-rounded individual. The other piece that we call soft skills that are actually very, very hard is is skills such as, problem solving skills, critical thinking, communicating with impact. All of these soft skills, working in teams, collaborating with others, are important today, but in the future and in our role from a finance perspective, this will become increasingly important. And those soft skills are actually the hard ones. And those are the ones that do make a considerably big difference when we serve in the different environments that we are in. Maybe lastly, I think and the year that we've had from a COVID perspective has really prepared us for this. The last thing for me is embrace change. In fact, I do believe that finance actually drives change. We need to be at the forefront of change. In this continuous volatile environment, that will become absolutely key to make sure that a CFO, as well as the finance teams that they lead, are absolutely part of solutioning for the changing environment. So good luck and absolutely all the best as you navigate on your journey. It truly can be.